All right. Hi, Marilyn. It's good to
Hello.
meet you. Hi. And I love this idea of rolling on the floor laughing challenge. I mean, that is brilliant. And
Thank you.
at a moment like this, what a perfect way to, a strategy for coping and for building collective impact together, synergizing. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, as you know, our kind of grand strategy, our moonshot is that we'll create peace on earth, affirm the oneness of humanity, reinvent the planet all by 2030. And we've got a couple stops along the road to make this all happen, like rolling in the floor, laughing on the floor.
Yep.
But I want to ask you, do you think it's possible that we can create peace on earth by 2030?
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually think we're going to do it much quicker. I think that the quickening of our shadow being present so that we can examine it on a personal and cultural level is just really popping right now. And, through all of the personal and global transformation I've studied over the years, the breakdowns are the access to the breakthroughs. And so I actually think that we're going to be getting to where we want to go even quicker than 2030.
Fabulous. Well, what do you think is holding us back? What are the challenges?
Well, to me, the central one that comes up for me a lot is that our capacity to be present and be with and be open-hearted in the face of all the suffering and the inhumanity and all of the things that are going wrong in society without letting it take us over and take us down. And I think the beauty is I see that capacity growing in leaps and bounds. I see more and more organizations every day coming up using love, using compassion, using forgiveness, using kindness, using playfulness, without ever giving up our commitment to the people that are suffering and the beings that are suffering and the earth that's suffering, that we're able to hold the contradiction much more powerfully. And I think that that is huge.
Fabulous, fabulous. So, any suggestions on a couple of things people could do to help make that happen in their world?
Yeah, for me, for a lot of us that are really diehard, change agents and activists and caretakers and such, is that we come as self-care as secondary. But pretty much at age 50, I just crashed, whole system crash and burn. I used to say if I went any faster, my hair would catch on fire.
Ah,
And so what I've learned over the last 5 years in particular, when I have not been able to just, soldier through like I used to, I've learned a whole new beautiful skill set. So I think that the self-care that is showing up for many of us now is so important because it has something to teach us. Like now I've learned grace instead of grit. And yeah, grit is good and I still use it, but grace and trusting in perfect timing and trusting in intuition and asking for spiritual support. There's so many wonderful things that can happen that aren't going to happen through grit, that are skill sets that a lot of us that are care about the world don't have developed yet. We have a lot of the striving, driving, making things happen. That skill set's great and we need it. But having this, like, now whenever I get stressed, I go sit in my hammock. And it used to be, I would think that was a waste of time. And now I understand that's one of the most important things I can do. Because when I'm more grounded, I have different ideas. I'm not running around doing a bunch of things I don't need to do. And I can bring my best self, my healed self, to the world when I take care of ourselves. So really self-care is absolutely huge. And there's another reason why we really need to do self-care. I found out through a horrific experience right before the US election. I started to go off mentally, just was not feeling well at all. And then I made a trip to Ecuador and my brain got stuck on fight or flight. And I was in a panic, literal panic for about a month. And I was very great that I had a strong will to live because, part of me wanted to just jump off that mountain in Ecuador. But what it had to teach me, that spiritual experience, was that no matter how right it might feel to feel like you should be brokenhearted and enraged about everything that's happening in the world, that's the correct moral response. I just learned that I couldn't do that and that I just wouldn't want to be here doing any work if that's how I was going to live. And so now I have this powerful, every cell of my body knows that going towards joy, going towards forgiveness, going towards love, going towards light is the only way forward, at least for me. And I now, because of that experience, have done the research to understand that the vast majority of us are having some limbic system impairment because our fight or flight system has become overloaded by all the toxicities that we experience in the world. And so we're quicker to react and we're quicker to negativity, and us getting a handle on that can really, really help.
Got it. Okay, fabulous. So I want people to know about the Rolling on the Floor Laughing Challenge and what you hope to contribute to the world by doing that.
Yeah, it feels like the culmination of my life, to finally find a concept that can really reach beyond the choir. Like, because one of the things that's been great about me living back in Texas again, I'm a seventh generation Texan, and grew up on John Wayne movies and all that crazy stuff. But there's a lot of good people down here that really actually don't want to even hear about the good stuff that's happening in the world, because they're so disempowered about the problems in the world, and they so lost about how to address them, that even when you tell them about all the great stuff that's happening, they're like, I don't want to hear it, because it just reminds them of what's going wrong in the world. And so that's really helped me be a better change agent, because this concept is for everybody. Everybody just, if we could all just stop for a minute and have a little fun and laugh and be like Mother Teresa said, remember that we belong to each other, then who knows what's possible. So I love that part of it. And then it's easy breezy, accessible. You literally just roll on the floor laughing and give. And because text giving is easy, that's super easy. And then it's supporting 50 incredible nonprofits doing amazing work, lifting people up all over the world. So it's just like win, 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 win. And I'm just feeling the wind beneath the wings of everything that's happening with it right now. So I'm just on cloud nine.
Fabulous, Marilyn. What a gift to the world. And are there any other insights, strategies, tools, tactics, anything you want to share, folks that are committed to creating peace on earth?
Yeah, I think that, using your own deep personal transformation as your guide to working with anybody else is essential. I know that the old me, as a diehard social justice activist, I would run around and I actually thought I was inspiring people, but I found out I was pissing a lot of them off and making them actually feel bad about who they were, because I was so righteous about how they should live. And so I think that the more that we are very lovingly but very honestly looking at how we're interacting in the world out of reactivity, and being very loving and forgiving to ourselves, but then learning to heal that's everything. Because like I see on my Facebook feed that the extremes are becoming each other and not realizing that. And that if we can help dissipate those divides and heal the just negativity that's got caught up between us and reconnect to each other, then anything is really possible.
Beautifully said. Beautiful, Marilyn. Awesome.
Thank you so much for your work. I have followed Compassion Games for a long time now and just been in awe of the work and the difference it's being made. It's a beautiful, beautiful contribution.
Thank you, Marilyn. Appreciate that. All right, bye for now.
Bye.